Year 208 AD, the Han Dynasty, one of the greatest empires in China, is collapsing. Not slowly, but violently. The court is corrupt, warlords are rising, and cities are burning. And somewhere along the Yangtze River, hundreds of thousands of soldiers are preparing for war. And this is the moment before the Battle of Red Cliffs. On one side is powerful warlord who had already unified most of northern China. He stood there with an army over 200,000 men. Confident, dominant, he believed the south would fall easily. On the other side, a fragile alliance, Sun Quan and Liu Bei, smaller armies, less resources, and less control. By logic, they should have lost, but they didn't, because this war was never just about strength. It was about something else. Now, let me bring this closer to you, because what happened 2,000 years ago is happening every day in your workplace. A different battlefield, same human patterns. And you don't call it war, you call it meetings, stakeholders, decisions, but underneath, it's still influence. It's still positioning. It's still power. So let's go deeper into that moment. Cao Cao looked at the situation and thought, I have the numbers. I have the momentum. I will win. And on paper, he was right. But here is what he didn't understand. His army was made up mostly of northern soldiers who were not used to fighting on water. They were seasick, they were uncomfortable, they were disorientated. So what did he do? He made a decision that looked smart, but it wasn't. He ordered that all the ships to be chained together, stable, predictable, and easier for his soldiers. And in that moment, he solved one problem. But it created a much bigger one. Because when the enemy launched fire attacks, those chained ships couldn't escape. The fire spread, and in a single night, his massive advantage collapsed. Let's pause and translate this to your world. How many times have you done this? You create structure. You control everything. You make things stable because it feels safer. But in doing so, you remove flexibility. You trap yourself. You make it harder to accept when things change. Cao Cao didn't lose because he was weak. He lost because he optimized for control instead of reality. Now look at the other side. Sun Quan and Liu Bei. They knew they were weaker. They knew they couldn't win in a direct fight. So instead of forcing strength, they played to understanding. One strategist, Zhuge Liang, observed something simple: the wind. And at that time of the year, the wind direction was predictable. And they used it. They sent 5 ships carried by the wind straight into Cao Cao's fleet. Think about that. They didn't overpower him. They positioned against him. Now here's the analogy. Most people think success is like pushing a rock uphill. More effort, more force, and more hours. But what if success is more like sailing? You don't control the wind. But if you understand it, you can move faster than people stronger than you. And this is where most working adults struggle. You're working hard. You're capable. You're responsible. But you're rolling while someone else is using the wind. Let's go deeper into the three leaders, because each one represents something you might recognize yourself. Because each one represents something you might recognize in yourself. Cao Cao represents control. He's smart, decisive, and always thinking ahead, but sometimes too focused on logic, too focused on structure. At work, this is you when you double check everything, when you correct people, when you rely on facts but ignore feelings. And then you wonder why people don't fully support you. Liu Bei represents connection. He started with nothing. No strong army, no powerful base. But he had something rare. People trusted him. There's a moment where he refused to abandon the civilians, even when escaping danger. Logically, it slowed him down. Emotionally, it built loyalty. And that loyalty gave him strength he didn't have. At work, this is you when you care. You support others. You try to be fair. But sometimes, you hope people will notice. You hope intentions are enough. And then Sun Quan, he represents judgment. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the most brilliant. But he knew one thing. He didn't need to be. Many advisors told him to surrender. But he listened to Zhou Yu, and that decision changed everything. At work, this is you when you're in meetings, listening to different opinions, trying to decide what is right. But sometimes you hesitate because you feel like you need certainty. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people are stuck because they overuse one strength. Too much control and you become rigid. Too much empathy, you become overlooked. Too much hesitation, you lose timing. And the world, especially at work, doesn't reward extremes. It rewards balance. So let me ask you something. In your current situation, are you trying to control too much? Are you hoping that people will understand you? Or are you waiting instead of deciding? Because once you see this, you will start to shift. You stop just working hard. You start working with awareness. The Three Kingdoms was just not a war. It was a study of human behavior. Power, trust, timing, and perception. And if you're in your 30s or 40s, this is the stage of your life where this matters the most. Not just what you know, but how you move. Because in the end, Cao Cao didn't lose because he wasn't capable. He lost because he misread the situation. And many people today, they are doing the same thing. If this made you pause, if you see yourself somewhere in this story, then this is exactly what I talk about on this channel. Real stories, real patterns, so that you can communicate better, so that you can lead better, and navigate people without losing yourself. If you want to go deeper, I've also created a communication training on Udemy, and the link is in the description below. And if this video resonated with you, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See you. Bye.